just come out as of late. Well, today in fact. So, hiya Greg. Welcome to those that have just joined us. And without any further ado, let's get started, shall we? So, as usual, I will try and be quiet throughout the cutscenes. Oh, I just need to sort out something one moment so that we've actually got a good bandwidth here. I had an upload going, you see, but I just need to pause that, otherwise it's going to eat into our stream. One sec. So hopefully we'll have a healthy stream in just a moment. Yes, Greg, I'm looking forward to this one. Hello, Fantasy Hero. Hello, Sabrina. Welcome, everybody. So this is Secret of Mana, the remastered version. I'm playing on PS4, but you can also play this on PC and even on Vita as well. And I'm live streaming here on YouTube and on Twitch, so thanks for joining me. I'll try and shut up to the cutscenes as I mentioned, so let's get on with the episode or the stream. And I did have a half an hour play, as you can see earlier, so we're going to actually start a new game and begin from the start, which would make the most sense. But I did just want to get used to the controls and what have you. And we'll go for English. And with English subtitles. So we can change the name of our characters. Randy is the default. Although in the original game on the Super Nintendo, as far as I'm aware, the names of the characters were never really used. You had to pick a name. But kind of, I don't know, in promotional material and stuff, the name Randy and some of the other names were used. So they were generally considered canon, but not officially according to the game. Which is interesting. And here we go, the opening cutscene.
Long ago, the world prospered and humanity thrived thanks to a power known as mana. However, humans soon sought to use mana to create the ultimate weapon, a floating battleship called the Mana Fortress. This greedy arrogance angered the gods, who in turn unleashed vicious beasts into the world. A violent war between the mana beasts in the fortress engulfed the world in poison and fire until mana had all but disappeared. In humanity's bleakest hour, a hero wielding the mana sword appeared and destroyed the fortress. The world was left in shambles, and yet humanity persevered, and there was peace throughout the land. But as time passes, so history repeats.
Hey! Guys! Wait! Up! Whoa! Shh! Be quiet, stupid. If the Elder finds us here, we're done for.
Yeah. We're not supposed to be here. Everyone in the village knows about the ghost.
You really believe that old fib? The grown-ups just say there's a ghost to scare us away. But I did hear Grandma say she saw something shiny by the falls when she was little.
Maybe it's treasure. Let's go find it.
Help! I'm gonna fall!
Here we go then, guys, getting started now. Welcome to those joining us on Twitch as well.
Ouch.
Now, the thing you'll notice about this game is it is fully voice acted. And I have actually got the stream overlay set up from when we was playing Final Fantasy 12. I might just have to change a couple of things, perhaps before the next stream, especially with the chat window, which I do like to have on there so that people watching the archive can see what's been going on. But it just looks like it might be interfering with the dialogue boxes. But while there's voice acting, I'm not going to be too concerned about that. You can also see in the top right-hand corner that we have a mini-map that is based on the original art style to the game, the 1993 art style for Secret of Mana. There's a couple of things that I noticed straight away, and like I say, I have played about half an hour, but this is starting the game. Noticed they're a little bit weird. First of all, the fact that the game doesn't seem to have the characters' mouths moving. Hi, I can't say your name there on Twitch, TRSPNT, welcome to you. Hello, Zarek. Welcome, mate, how are you? Good to see you. So yeah, I was just saying that one of the weird things is that the mouths don't move on the characters when they talk in cutscenes. I'm not sure what that is about, but it just seems a little bit odd. Anyway, we're going to start by heading south. And the game itself, if you watch any comparison videos, is pretty much identical to the original, apart from the fact it's now got HD graphics. I know what you mean, Victorino. I know what you mean. Square are spoiling us at the moment, aren't they, with all these games? A lot of them re-releases, mind. But many of us, including me, won't have had an opportunity to play Secret of Mana before. Well, we could have had the opportunity. I mean, there's emulators and stuff. But, I mean, there was no excuse to, really, until now. Hi, Hugo. We've literally just started, mate. About 2 minutes ago. So, it's a very traditional game. Very traditional Japanese role-playing game. Very, very similar to Final Fantasy, the traditional Final Fantasies. Although it does have a more action-oriented combat, which we'll see in a few moments' time. Oh, Saruk, I had to read that twice. I thought you said you was a bit naked with another streamer. I was thinking, what is he going on about? I was a bit concerned for you then, Zaruk. But, I'm sorry to hear that you was a bit narked with another streamer. But I appreciate having you here. So let's just have a brief look before we continue on in the menu. Oh, we can't. We can't access the menu yet. We'll have to do that later on. One thing we can do... Well, I'll talk about the menu when we get there. So, I just want to see if we can move the chat log while I'm streaming here, so that I'm not interfering with the dialogue boxes that are coming up. I do like the chat log, as I say, because people that are watching later on the archive have a bit of context to understand the things that we're talking about, or that I'm talking about. I'll bring another chat box up, and we'll have a look. So if we head round here, we can see there's a sword. So,
The village is this way, but I'll never get through here without a weapon.
Obviously, we're going to go ahead and grab that. I don't think that's a spoiler. For now, if I just stick it there, maybe shrink it down a little bit. Hopefully, you guys can still read it okay. Or maybe we could keep it there. Yeah, we'll keep it down the bottom. So I've got it set up for FF12, you see. Yeah, that looks alright. Not as intrusive there, is it? Okay. Sorry about that. Yes, it would have been professional of me to get this prepared before streaming. But hey, what you going to do? Yeah, from what I've seen so far, Sabrina, it's a lot of fun, actually. And I do like the way that they've kept the original art style for the minimap. So, a few cutscenes now. You'll probably hear me slurping my tea as we watch these as well.
And what's the sword doing here? Right. What's with this light? Oh, ghost!
Listen. I entrust the sword.
What do you mean? Ugh, what's up with this sword? The light's fading already. Oh, I have to get back to the village.
Okay, so we're going to see some of the combats now and how it works in Secret of Mana. And yes, you can name your character Zarek. In fact, I believe there's a couple of characters you can name later on as well. So I was just checking there's nothing down there. Okay, so we can actually access the menu at this point as well. So first of all, let's just see what we can do in the options menu. Okay, so the first interesting thing is that we can actually set the soundtrack from the new orchestrated version, which we're listening to at the moment, to the original Super Nintendo soundtrack, in a similar way that we can do it with the Final Fantasy XII Zodiac Age. We can just swap whenever we want to, so that'll keep people happy. Controls, language, everything's pretty much as we expect. We can turn the mini-map on and off. I saw a few people before asking if that could be done, and yes it can. On another video I saw that, I mean. I'm not sure what this is, item limit. I mean, presumably it's something to do with item limits. The max amount of items that we can carry. But why it's something we can change, I'm not sure. We'll have to have a look at that a little bit later. Hiya, Abhijit. Welcome, mate. Welcome. Okay, and very briefly, I'm just going to rush through these. I don't want to bore people. So we've got our character level, our experience, etc, etc, and our stats. And money is GP. And the other item that's of interest at the moment is our weapon level. So as we attack and kill things, we'll level up the weapon that we're using. And I believe in the original, I'm not sure if it's true in this remake, in the original, the character level, the max character level you could be was tied to your weapon levels. But we'll see how that plays as we make our way through. So it is a traditional game, but the combat is slightly more actiony than you'd expect with, say, the Final Fantasy games of old. You can just attack in the field. There's no separate battle screen. And this is an early kind of action combat, so there's no dodge or anything that I'm aware of, which means the only way to avoid enemy attacks is just to run away from them. Which does feel a little bit awkward, but I did get used to it quite quickly when I tried the game out for half an hour earlier on. Now, once you've attacked, you can see this charge at the bottom. I've got the green writing over it, but you can still see it. And once it's finished charging to 100%, you're going to get the best use out of your sword when you next swing with it.
Whoa! What's a rabbi doing in a place like this?
Oh, that's interesting, crazy Nico girl. A lot of people have been telling me to play Legend of Dragoon, actually. So here we have the most evil looking enemy that you can possibly imagine. So we'll wait for our weapon to charge and then swing it. You can even AoE attack, I might be able to show you that. So the general trick to combat, from the way I understand it at the moment, is that you want your weapon to charge and then you go in and attack. And avoid attacks from enemies while your weapon's charging. Now you can attack while your weapon's charging, like that, but you won't do as much damage. But hey, it's useful to know anyway, I should think. Right then, so let's just continue making our way around. The dungeons and that are quite traditional as well, so you go to towns, chat around with people, process with the, continue on with the story, and then after that you're going to head into a dungeon, fight your way through it, collect treasures, and then take on a boss at the end. Yeah, Ni no Kuni is definitely on my to-get list, Zarek. Ni no Kuni 2. The first game was a lot of fun. I understand it's not to everyone's taste. It's definitely, you know, a little bit more childlike, but so is this game, really. Now, one thing that is recommended is that you do kill all the enemies in this first area, as that should level up our weapon in time for an upcoming boss fight. I did 3 damage then because the weapon wasn't fully charged instead of 18. Yeah, oh, no, a lot of people have been asking me about it. The only problem is, what's it on? Is it PS2 or PS1? I'm not sure, but I don't think I've got an easy way to access it at the moment. So I'm just going around killing these bunny things. And look, they do have a chance of dropping treasure with healing items. Healing items such as candy. Just bear with me, I'm just going to turn my other monitor on because there's a slight delay on the stream here, which is making it a little bit difficult to get timings right. Just a touch of lag. Ah, that's better. A lot smoother for me now. Okay, so there's no overlay map as far as I'm aware for us to see. We do just have to rely on the mini-map more than anything else. If we head over to our weapon here, we can see that we're 72% the way through level 0. So you do actually have your weapon start at level 0. You can also see that orbs text with one red orb out of 8. As we proceed through story content, we'll actually unlock more of those orbs. I'm not totally sure what they do. I think they just increase the power or something. But I'm sure that's something we can learn as we make our way through. Oh, is it on the PS1, is it? Yeah, there was a game I did play, and I keep getting them confused. It was Legend of Lagaia that I played, not Legend of Dragoon. For ages, people were asking me if I played Legend of Dragoon, and I was telling them, yeah, years ago I did. And then I remembered recently it was actually Legend of Lagaia. A similar type of game, I think, but still a different game. There you go, you can get some nice AoE attacks if the enemies clump up. So, one of the good things... Oh, we've leveled up our weapon there. Good things about this type of battle system is that there's no downtime. Because there's no separate battle screen, like you get with a lot of the older Final Fantasy games, you literally just hack and slash your way through. And that's pretty much all you need to do. So if we go over to our weapon now, we can see that we're 0% through level 1. But remember, we did start at level 0, so we did get that level up. And we do have to use our weapon to break through the flower things here. Let's try and clump these guys up if we can. And we level up as well. So one thing I do need to check out, because some of the videos I watched in preparation for this live stream were of the original game. And I need to see if, like the original, the character level is tied to weapon level. There's a lot of enemies, Zaruk, but yeah, you can avoid them if you run past them, or just choose not to fight them. Oh, I see. Neko girl. Yeah, I'm terrible with YouTube names. You'll all have to forgive me if I get them wrong. Okay, so here we are in our first town. And this town is known as Potos Village. So we can just start by chatting to people.
What did you do this time?
Oh yeah, did you tell me that yesterday, Greg? I think you might have done. The only problem is, if I did play it, I'd want to stream it more than likely. And I haven't actually got the PS3 set up for streaming at the moment. I'd have to move it about and get it set up into my streaming area.
There's an unfamiliar face in here. He looks kind of scary. I don't know.
So we'll explore the shops in a little while. For now, we're just chatting to some of the folks around here. This guy basically guards the town.
Help! Monsters have surrounded the village.
And he's very good at his job, as you can tell.
We'd better stay inside until we know what's going on out there.
Okay. Nico. I'll try and remember that.
just told me.
Okay, so to proceed with the story at this point, we do need to just head up to the cluster of people here. And we actually have a boss fight coming up, which is why I do recommend, before coming into this town, it's worth just levelling up, as we did, by not running past the enemies.
Oh, I thought you were a goner.
That's why I told you not to bring someone like him along.
You idiots. None of you were supposed to wander into that area. What's that you have there? Oh no, it couldn't be.
Sorry, Zarek, I haven't been able to stop by at your streams lately, mate. I've just been quite busy
Cool. Did you find the
when I've not
treasure?
been streaming myself. Are they going okay, though?
Way to go!
What have you done? That's the mana sword.
By the way, guys, make sure you check out Zarek's YouTube channel as well. He's got some good content on there.
Mana sword? But legend says the village will be destroyed if it's removed.
I never thought it'd come to this. The mana sword is said to protect the village from disaster. But aha! So you're the reason all those monsters are attacking us. You yanked out the sword and doomed the whole village. It's your fault, you outsider.
So this Elliot chap seems to be a bit of a bully, doesn't he, more than anything? Poor Fuzz here is getting picked on.
Shut up.
Oh, that's good to hear then, Zarek. I've been having a lot of fun, actually, with the live streaming, you know. It's been, you know, a lot of fun chatting to people and stuff. Right, so this is where we have a boss battle coming up. It's not too challenging. I did have a go at it earlier. Although it is possible to die on it. But hopefully we won't.
Help! I'm a monster! You have a sword, why don't you use it?
Yep, so everyone was criticising us for taking the mana sword. But now, apparently, we need to use it.
Can you hear me? Calm down and study the enemy's movements to look for an opening.
So this guy has quite some nasty attacks that we need to try and avoid. But as I mentioned, unless I've missed something, there's no way to actually dodge in this game. Which means you just have to literally run away from the enemy when they're actually attacking you. So we'll let our weapon charge up, and then attacking it from behind seems to do the trick. Those green things are hard to move away from. Now, I was saying that you could die, but I think what happens if you die is that the guy that was shouting at you from above will actually resurrect you. Now he's got a bit of a guard when we attack him from the front there.
Take more than that.
So we're running a little bit low on health here. We could use an item. In fact, maybe we could do that and see how the system works. When I did this earlier on through tests, I didn't have to do this. I think we have to... Must be a hotkey setup to use an item.
To my advice. Clear your mind. Wait till your power to
I need to look at that.
100%. Then be sure your aim is true.
Okay, so look, you come back to life. It's not a problem. And that acid breath seems to hit you from wherever you're standing. It's really annoying. All of a sudden, this fight seems like 10 times harder than when I tried it earlier on. I think we've done it. Yeah, he's down. So you can't really lose that fight because you do get that resurrection if you do fall. Way to go. And we get a whopping 10 experience from that battle. And a sword orb as well, which we looked at earlier on.
Stay back! I didn't do nothing!
Oh, excuse me, I just need to have a coughing fit.
To be in possession
Oh, that's what happens when you cough. Sorry, when you drink your tea too fast.
This is troubling.
Why is that?
The legend says the sword can only be retrieved by a knight when the world is in peril. But you are far too young for such a responsibility. Something must be wrong with the mana sword.
Here, you take it.
No, I cannot. The sword has lost its power. It must be restored. Only the one who pulled it free can do that.
Then, what should I do?
Visit Sage Luca in the Water Palace. The sage has protected these lands for over 200 years. You would do well to listen to her advice.
Hey! The Elder wants you to come to his house.
I'll be off. I have duties to attend. My name is Jimma, and I'll be waiting for you at the Water Palace.
So story-wise then, we're told we need to head to this Water Palace place and speak to a sage, who is a lady that we know very little about at the moment. Yeah, good idea, Zarek. So, before we do anything else, we need to head up into this house just to get a little bit more of the story done, and then we can explore the town.
We're at our wit's end. Who knows when another monster will appear?
Hiya, Daniel. How you doing today, mate? Yeah, it's been released just today, actually, this remake. Or remaster, or whatever it's supposed to be.
It's you. You've really done it this time. That sword has protected us for years.
It's been a remaster, I would say, in the same sense that Final Fantasy 3 and 4 were remastered, with that kind of new graphical art style. But with a little bit more effort, in my opinion.
Once you removed it, the monsters started attacking the village.
It's settled. We can't let him stay in the village anymore. He'll just bring more monsters.
Hiya folks, welcome to those joining us as we're streaming Secret of Mana here on YouTube and Twitch.
Go!
This is the remastered version that was released today. You can get it on PS4, which is what I'm playing on, PC, and also Vita as well, interestingly enough.
I don't want to do this, but I have no choice. I banish you from this village.
It could do, Nico, because a lot of Square's games are being remastered. Most of the Final Fantasy games have had re-releases of some sort now. And of course, with this here, this isn't... Is this a Square game? Yeah, it is, isn't it? So maybe they are taking on that philosophy of let's try and get as much money out of our original games as we can. So it's... Oh no, Legends of Dragoon's not Square, is it? It's Sony. Somebody mentioned earlier. I don't know then. We might not with that.
Take the contents.
Yeah, so I never actually played the original, Daniel. This is actually my first introduction to the game.
I knew something bad was going.
Okay, so once we've chatted to everyone, sorry about that, guys. I was just chatting in chat. We can head downstairs and grab some money. That is one heck of a way of opening a treasure chest. It's a good job it didn't have anything delicate in it.
I took you in as a child, but there's nothing more I can do for you. You wouldn't remember. You were just a baby. But I was there when your mother first came to this village. After she disappeared, I did my best to raise you. But today is the day we must part ways. I hope that you find your mother again someday.
By the way, guys, a lot of veterans of this game will tell you that this has an absolutely epic soundtrack to it. You know, on par with a lot of those older Final Fantasy games as well. And as we looked at earlier, you do get the option in the config menu to play with the original soundtrack as well from the Super Nintendo if you want to have a bit of nostalgia. But we'll stick to the remake version for now. But hey, it's good to have that option. So we're going to explore the town before we head on out. So they're not happy with us at all, the villagers. As a matter of fact, they want us out of here.
I'll be kinda lonely, but it's all your fault anyway.
This is all because you removed the sword. Go away.
One thing I did notice earlier, I'll show you. Listen to his dialogue.
All because you removed the sword. Go away.
And now watch, when we head into the next building. I don't know if this is a bug. Or if they just expect you not to notice this.
This is all because you removed the sword. Go away.
This NPC has exactly the same voice actor doing the exact same line of dialogue.
We're in danger as long as you're here. Please leave.
So everyone's really peed off with us for taking that weapon, aren't they? Despite the fact we just killed that boss, they still want us to get out of here. So there's 2 more buildings we can go in. The first is an item shop, and there's one item that I do want to purchase.
I'm only selling you stuff because the Elder said I had to. When you're done, get out of here. Welcome. What'll it be?
I'll have to check that out, actually, Neko. I'm not sure. So the bandana is a very important item. It's only 50 GP, but it's not very important. But it's a good upgrade to get at the moment.
You have to equip the armor before it'll have any effect. Got it? Now scram.
So let's just go ahead and equip that armor. It's a head item. Did that actually get equipped then? Still saying nothing. Oh, no. I just deleted it. That means we've got to spend another 50 GP.
Welcome. What'll it...
That was me reading chat at the same time more than anything. Hopefully we're not going to need that 50 GP we just wasted.
Anything else?
Right, let's not make that mistake again. I did that on purpose so that you guys could see what not to do. So don't click the delete trash bin thingy before selecting the item. I mean, it makes sense, really. There we go, we've got it equipped. Right, let's head out of here now. So, yeah, wanted to get that. Now, there is an autosave feature that has been included with the remake. I'm not sure what triggers it, though, whether it's a loading screen or what. But the other way to save your game, at least the only other way that I've seen so far, is to rest in an inn. I did, didn't I, M Solid? By the way, guys, there is a delay on chat. So, I won't actually see what you write until about 30 seconds afterwards, unfortunately. But anyway, once we've gone ahead and rested, we can save. I'm just going to save over my original save file at this point. And I believe that's all of the buildings. I won't be a moment, I've got to turn my heating down. I'm starting to get a little bit red in the face. Right, I'm back. Turning an electric heater. Yeah, they happen frequently when I'm around as well, Nico. Welcome back, Zarek. Welcome back, mate. You got your brew. So we'll speak to the guy that's guarding the place from monsters. Maybe he'll be nice to us after the other villagers have been really mean.
Do you have everything you need?
By order of the Elder, you have been banished from Poto's village. Now be gone.
Okay, and now we can head on out. And we're going to have to start swinging the sword again as we make our way over to the next destination. Oops, went back to the village. The sight of that rabbit scared us, I think. Wait till we've nicely charged up here and swing. There we go. So the enemies are still the same enemies at the moment. There's actually 2 ways to get to the Crystal Palace as well, which is where we're going. The first is using this cannon here. I mean, that doesn't look very safe. And we'll actually avoid the enemies if we do that. But I might still do so. I haven't decided yet. Oh yeah, if you're thinking of supporting the stream, guys, you can do so, as Zarek says, with those 2 options, sponsors or super chat, and it's very much appreciated, thank you. Although not expected, of course. A couple of swings usually takes these guys out. When enemies are lying down, it seems harder to hit them as well. Just an observation there. I feel kind of sad that I didn't play this game on the original console when it was out. What the heck is this thing? It's definitely got that Final Fantasy weirdness to it, although I think that's just the old Japanese weirdness more than anything. It's possible, Abhijit. I'm not yet sure, to be honest. I'm still fairly new to this myself. I've only played the first 30 minutes. I believe there is quite a wide variety of enemies, so I would expect something along those lines at some point. Right, anyway, we've had a bit of an exploration, so maybe we should go and try the cannon out as well. Since that'll take us right to our destination. Get a nice charge going, there we go. Ah, we've leveled up again. The thing with these kinds of games is that experience is obviously very important. So it's a good point there, Nico. Incidentally, you can reset all the enemies in an area by exiting it and heading back in. So if ever you want to do any grinding or the like, then that is how you can do that. Ah, we're not actually levelling up our sword at the moment. So I'm not exactly sure what the mechanics are behind that. What is this thing? Oh, okay. Fair enough. Can we go back down again? Or have we got to run around? Yeah, they do a bit, don't they, Zarek? They've got that kind of aesthetic to them, haven't they? Just one sec, I'm just going to send a quick message to somebody. Nearly done here. Sorry about that, guys. Right then, let's carry on. So we've got another one of those mushroom things down here. Yeah, it's interesting, people in chat talking about how this game reminds them of various different titles, such as Pokemon and Digimon. I mean, the combat isn't really Final Fantasy, is it? Despite the fact that this game is basically billed as a Final Fantasy game with a different name. So it looks like you have to get a full charge of 100% to actually do any more damage compared to any other attack. Are you Tress? Is it Trespent? TRSPNT? Sorry, I can't say your name. There does seem to be some minor FPS issue on the stream, which is why I'm having to play on a different monitor here, because I can't watch the stream, it's too laggy. I'm not sure why that is, actually. I don't know whether it's a bandwidth thing, or whether it's a stream thing, or something else. But it's something I'll have a look at before the next episode, before we play it again. Okay, I don't think we can actually go down here yet. I think we might have taken a wrong turn. But hey, at least we got some experience by doing so.
You're not from our town. By order of the king, we can't...
Okay, so that's a no-no at the moment. Kill a couple of enemies. But we don't have to use that cannon, I'm sure of it. To fast travel, we can actually walk manually or run manually to the place. The crystal, water crystal place or something we're going to, isn't it? I guess we can head back up there. This way. I'm just going to see how much experience we're getting. So we've got 71 and we need another 34. We're probably not going to get another level then before the next dungeon. And let's go this way for now. Is this the way we came? I think it is, isn't it? Okay, we'll take the cannon. Since we know that's going to take us straight there, and we've done a fair bit of grinding as well. Say hello to this fella, and he should let us use it. Yeah, thank you very much. I didn't think you had to use it actually, Sabrina. I think you can actually get there manually, but there's two paths. And the first path takes you to that village that we couldn't enter at the moment. And then the other path takes you to the water palace. But either way, we're there now. Oh, welcome to Twitch, Nico. I do need to build up my Twitch audience.
Pandora has sent us to fight Elene, the witch.
So we can chat to some of these soldiers here. This is actually optional, by the way, but I think we can send them off on their way.
No one doubts his skill. He knows how dangerous this mission is, but I've never seen the Major waver. Major dialect, sir. All set.
So speaking to one of these, it's this guy here, we'll set them off. There we go. Don't forget, guys, if you haven't already, please do go ahead and subscribe if you're watching on YouTube. Hopefully then you'll be notified when we go live in the future as well. There's actually a dungeon of some kind over here, but I don't think we can access it yet. But let's just have a very brief look inside. Oh, Zarek, that was years ago, wasn't it, mate? That was when I played Final Fantasy VIII, if I remember. Yeah, we can't do anything in here yet. I hadn't streamed for so long since then either, before starting Final Fantasy XII up recently. don't think there's much to do here except just run into the palace itself. Whereabouts are you, Hulkaroni? I know in the UK, Steam doesn't unlock until about 6 PM, I think it is, UK time. We'll explore over here later. Let's go and get the story done first.
Let's go.
This place feels very Final Fantasy to me. I mean, this actual dungeon that we're in now. It's a bit like the castles from the older Final Fantasy games. Oh, that's cool, Nico. Yeah, Hulkarino, depending on what area you're in, it doesn't generally unlock until later on, but it should tell you roughly how many hours on Steam until it unlocks. It should be today, but it could still be a few hours away.
Where's Luca? I guess I'll ask that girl over there.
I'm playing on PS4 at the moment.
Hey, where do I find Luca?
Mind your manners.
Oh yeah, Final Fantasy X has one of my favourite character party development systems in with the sphere grid. I had a lot of fun with that when I've played that game.
You're very welcome.
Wait, you mean this little girl is 200 years old?
So Luca here is the sage that we were told to come and meet. Yeah, you can leave it in chat, Nico, that's no problem. Hopefully YouTube will not detect it as spam.
Oh, so you're the one who found the mana sword. Fascinating.
Just have to keep chatting to these guys to advance here.
Villages. This young boy just fought one himself.
You underestimate my intelligence. World news flows into this palace with the water's own currents. Nana grows ever weaker. That could explain how this child was able to take the sword from its place of rest.
I'm not sure then, to be honest, for the USA Hulkarino. It would normally, from my experience with Steam, when you're on the game page, it normally says unlocks in however many hours. What you might want to do is on the game page, just head over to the discussion board. There'll be an option on the right for discussions, and people will probably tell you there. There'll probably already be a thread about it, about what time it'll be unlocked.
His actions caused the balance of mana in this area to shift. Beasts are now rampaging across the land again. Evil in the world is working to seal away the power of the mana sword forever.
Oh no, that's no problem, Nico.
By defeating monsters and obtaining their orbs, you can reforge and restore the sword's mana power. It looks like your sword regained some power from vanquishing the mantis ant. There are more hidden orbs with the mana power to revive the sword. You must find them.
So we get a bit of information there about the orbs that go onto the sword. And I'm pretty sure there's a weapon of some kind we can get here.
I want you to keep an eye
There
on
isn't
it.
the sword, another weapon.
It seeks the mana fortress's power.
Fortress? Like the one that
Well, you've got a very kind nature then, Nico.
This is no fairy tale. We're talking about the real Mana Fortress and the empire that wants its power.
Yes, Hulkarino, you can.
The Empire will try to break the seals on the mana seeds in each palace.
You can have English or Japanese voices. I've not tried the Japanese voices myself. I've heard they're not great. The English aren't great either. But I don't mind them that much. The dialogue seems to fit with the style of the game. Yes, it's a little bit cringy. But I expected it to be. And as for the original soundtrack, you can use the Super Nintendo soundtrack instead.
Gemma, you should request an audience with the king.
Oh, there you go then, guys. Thanks for that, Greg. An hour for unlock on Steam. Although, also with Steam, the way it does unlocks is that when it says an hour, it could be anywhere from an hour to an hour and 59 minutes. It doesn't round up properly or round down. So every time it ticks less than 2 hours, it then goes straight away to an hour on the estimated unlock, even though it's actually closer to 2.
Head for the cave in Gaia's navel. There's a dwarf blacksmith that lives in the area. Dwarves are known for their weapon-making skills. You should see if they can reforge the sword. As the sword becomes more powerful, your skills will improve, and you'll learn more abilities.
Right, so I think we need to speak to Luca again at this point, because if you don't do this, you can miss out on a weapon, guys. So for those of you that aren't playing just yet, then take this as a little tip for when you do.
What frightens you so?
We can choose any of these options, though.
You wield the legendary mana sword, but its power has faded. Now it's hardly better than a normal weapon.
Oh, yeah, that makes sense, Hulkaroni. Because it's 5 PM that games generally unlock on Steam here in the UK. Which is, in fact, about an hour and a half away from where we are now, just over. So I would suspect in about an hour and a half on the hour, you'll be able to play or start installing. Did this game have a preload on Steam?
Eons ago, the ancients used their war machine, the Mana Fortress, in a final battle against the gods. It's not a fairy tale like you were told as a child. As the battle raged and the world reached its end, a hero came with a sword and saved us all.
Try restarting your Steam client, Hulkaroni. That might just prompt it to give you that unlock timer. But I don't think it would matter too much whether you have it or not. Yeah, I can show you that. We'll just get through this cutscene.
World of mana power. You must restore the mana sword to full power before then, or the world will be destroyed.
So, where do I fit in?
You must become a hero who is worthy of the sword.
So, on this option, we have to choose OK. I'm not sure what happens if we choose me, but I know by selecting OK, we get the weapon that we want.
Come, hold the sword up to the seed on the altar.
What happened?
You've got a USB Snes controller, that's awesome.
Now, no matter where you are in the world, this mana seed can grant power to your mana sword. You found one of the 8 palaces. Now you must visit the others and obtain the powers of their seeds. I worry about you out in the world with only a rusted sword. Take this spear I imbued with holy water.
Okay, so we get the spear.
Use it along with the mana sword, and it too will regain its true power. I'll heal you. Would you like to save the game?
Okay, we get to save again at this point, which is fairly helpful, I guess.
First, take Gemma's advice and head
You only actually get 2 save slots, which is a little bit annoying in all honesty. The 3rd save slot is an auto-save slot, so you can't manually select it.
to reach Gaia's navel. Head south through the kingdom of Pandora.
But hopefully we'll just be fine with that amount. Right, so we get control again of the characters at this point. There's a couple of things I want to do. I did say I'll just show that option again. So voiceover you can turn down if you want it off completely. The sound source you can change from remake to original. And get the full Super Nintendo music if that's what you'd prefer. I'm not sure what this does, but I'm going to increase it. This option to increase item limit. We'll put it up to 12. I mean, that's got to be a good thing, hasn't it? Right, next up then, we'll go ahead and change our weapon. And the way we do this is if we go to the weapons over here, we can just head over to Spear and hit X to select it. Yeah, I reckon the original soundtrack, Nico, would be good for those that played the original a lot and want that nostalgia fix. I mean, I never did, to be honest, so I'm happy with the remake soundtrack, but it's good to have the option. Oh, that's pretty good, Hulkaroni. So you was a bit of a fan then of Secret of Mana, weren't you, by the sounds of it, back in the day?
I'll heal you. Would you like to save the game? First, take Gemma's advice.
Okay, we've heard all this. We can turn the bridges on and off with those buttons. You can also have different languages as well, by the way, guys, for your subtitles if you're not native English speaking. There's not a huge selection, but there's a few options, which is nice. And we need to head back down south, but I did just want to take a brief look over here to see if there's anything going on. We've got our new weapon as well now, our spear, which seems to have a good range on it compared to the sword, so I might use it for a little bit. See how we get on with it. Oh, there's nothing over here. Some unseen force is holding us back. Okay, at some point around here, I think we get a cutscene. I'm pretty sure we do, anyway. Yeah, the minimap's pretty good. I like the way as well it's in the style of the original game. The art style. I thought there was a cutscene. Oh, this is it, yeah. I knew there was one. I just couldn't remember where it was. Oh, no, it's not. I don't want to come here yet. A few people have mentioned on various threads and stuff that the spear's a good weapon to use early on. So that's what we're doing here. Okay, this is the cutscene. I thought we'd missed it or something, or I'd done something wrong. So the goblins come and kidnap us.
You, do not move. Stay still.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure, I'm sure Hulkaroni or somebody else will correct me if I'm wrong, but wasn't the Secret of Mana games actually branded as a Final Fantasy game? Final Fantasy Adventure or something. I could be wrong on that. Maybe I'm misremembering something, but I'm sure that's the case.
Very lucky human. You will be main dish tonight.
Yeah, he's on the main course, look.
No! Let me go!
Delicious human. Very lucky. Dancing has begun. I join in.
Yeah. You could be having a better day, couldn't you, Zarek?
doing here, you idiot?
Please help me.
Quiet. Come on, let's get out of here.
I owe you my life. What are you doing here?
I'm looking for someone. I saw you being taken away and thought for a second you might be him. I got the wrong guy, though. What a waste of time.
Hey, wait a minute.
Just kidding. Look, I'm in a hurry. Go back to your village, kid.
Hey, wait. I didn't even get to ask her name.
Sorry guys, won't be a moment. Okay, right, I'm going to be carrying on now. Just had to sort some stuff out. I know, it's not very nice, is it? I mean, we're the one with the spear here, aren't we? Oh, look at that, an enemy trying to hide from us. Wow, you can actually have traps appear in treasure chests. Well, that's something to know going forward. I wonder what the point of that is, just to annoy you more than anything, I think. Well, I think now we're heading to that village that we couldn't access earlier on. So again, we can kill a few enemies along the way here. And I'm just going to check that we are levelling up this weapon. Yep, 40% through the first level. That is actually kind of like a mimic, wasn't it? But not as evil. Instead of it actually being an enemy, it just punches you in the face. Okay, so we want to carry on. Can we go south? Yeah, that's where we want to go, I think. Oh, hang on a sec. The spear can't seem to break through. Can't break through the plants like the sword can. That's really annoying, so that means we have to keep switching weapons. I wonder if there is a way to easily switch between various weapons and stuff. I'm pressing buttons here, but nothing's happening. So if I open up the menu, I think we have to just switch manually here. What's the action grid? Let's have a look a sec. Let's go to weapon. Switch over to the rusty sword. Right, we can select level 1 of attack gauge. I'm not sure what the difference is. Maybe somebody could be kind enough to point that out to us. What the attack gauge is. I'm guessing this is something to do with collecting the orbs, since there's 8 levels and 8 orbs to get. Although maybe not, I don't know. How many orbs have we got on the rusty sword? 2. So we can break through those plants again now, look. Yeah, you do, don't you, Sabrina? You got to use the sword on those. I was actually just looking to see if there's an easy way to switch between weapons without having to go to the menu, but I don't think that there is. But if I'm wrong on that, guys, please let me know in chat. So we don't want to do that thing, because that's going to bounce us back up to the top. Ah, level 4. So it's definitely got, you know, hack and slash elements to it, this game. I kind of feel like I'm playing Diablo to some degree. Wait for the charge. There we go. Hi guys, welcome to those joining us on stream as we're playing Secret of Mana for the first time here. The remake / remastered version that has been released just today on PS4 and Vita, and will be coming a little bit later on as well today on Steam in about an hour's time. If you're interested in the game, I have left a voucher code as well in the description so you can get it a little bit cheaper than on Steam, for example. And you'll just get a code for Steam or for the PS4, whatever it is you're buying it for. Well, I'm just going to go ahead and briefly check our status here. So, yeah, we're level 4 now. Hopefully our stats are increasing. We've got 321... So 320 money. And our rusty sword is definitely not levelling anymore. Maybe I can just spend a minute or so finishing off our spear to level 2. Or level 1 actually, isn't it? Since they start at 0. And it also seems to have a slightly longer charge time. Ah, keep going out. Try that again. Avoid the spores. I'm just trying to stay on top of the levels for our weapons so that we don't fall too far behind. One of the things I have heard about this game, something that was true in the original version and has absolutely carried through for the remake, is that it gets very, very hard as you progress. Especially towards the later, or the latter half of the game, the difficulty spike increases quite substantially. So I guess the earlier we can just carry on staying on top of our current levels and what have you, the smoother time we're going to have as we proceed further. Oh, there we go. Spear level 1 now. Hi, Dominic. Oh, thanks. Appreciate that. Thanks for stopping by today. Right, we're heading to the actual village now in just a moment. No, I've not played Secret of Evermore either. Yeah, it's very traditional, I think, in that sense, isn't it, Hulkaroni? A lot of the older Final Fantasy, not just Final Fantasy, but a lot of the older Japanese role-playing games involved heavy amounts of grinding, so I'm certainly expecting that Secret of Mana is going to be no different in that respect. What are we doing back out here? We need to actually go inside now.
This is the Kingdom of Pandora. I was told to let you pass when you arrived. Sir Gemma's whereabouts? He has come from Tasnica to meet with our king. I believe he's in the castle now. Oh, just a warning, I wouldn't try to talk to the people in town if I were you.
So, apparently don't talk to the people in town, but I do like to try these things. And we're actually going to head straight back out into the field. Okay then, are you off, are you, Greg? Well, I'll see you later, mate. Thanks for stopping by today. We will explore Pandora a little bit more fully as we proceed through. But for now, I'm just going to head out of the west side of the town here. I made some notes earlier on before the stream, so that we've got some idea of where to go. Hiya, Gulf City. Yeah, I mean, it's very traditional in terms of its Japanese role-playing roots. And the combat is a little bit more action-oriented than some people might be used to from some of the older Final Fantasy games. That said, it seems very basic. There's no dodge or anything, at least not from what I can see at the moment. But maybe it is possible I'm just missing something. Is that the temple we were just at, Hulkaroni? With Luca, because she casts heal, doesn't she? Is that what you mean? If so, I appreciate the tip, thank you. I do expect to do a fair whack of grinding. And I recommend that to those of you watching as well if you're thinking about getting this game. If you're not a big fan of the Japanese role-playing experience where you have to basically grind to progress the story, then just bear that in mind, that I think it is pretty much something that's going to be required quite a lot in Secret of Mana. From what I understand, anyway. From what I understand. Right, we came from down south, didn't we? I just want to briefly check our weapon skills here. So at the moment, we seem to be stuck at level 1. We can't level past level 1 at the moment. I'm guessing that's locked to story points more than anything. But I could be wrong on that. Try and get a good charge going. So we're okay on health at the moment. I just want to check how we heal, because things were getting a bit hairy on that first boss fight, weren't they? I know this sounds like a stupid question, but does anybody have any idea how you actually heal in this game? We've got some healing items. It's not going to be equipped gear. Action grid? No, that's to do with your weapons. And we can't select that yet. Guides, perhaps? No, that's going to be a bestiary. I genuinely have no idea how we heal. I know that sounds stupid. I'm pressing all the buttons. Oh, okay, so thanks for that tip there, Nico. We don't have access to use items until we learn a spell. Okay. That's one of the reasons I like streaming. You've always got somebody with an answer ready when you need it. Ooh, 1% off being maxed out then. Yeah, thanks for these tips in chat, by the way, guys. They're very helpful, and hopefully they'll help people out as well that are watching this on the archive later. Some good info there. This is quite a lengthy section, isn't it, to the next area? I think the game's hinting already that we need to be levelling up and stuff. Oh, thank you, DMT, for the subscription. It's much appreciated. Hey, level 5. Ooh, we've got a bit of a fork in the road here by the looks of things. We'll head over to the left. And does this take us into a village? Yes, this is another village that we've not yet visited. Let's head inside here. Is this the shop?
One night is 10 GP.
I won't stay here just yet, since we just leveled up and we're already full on health. I've got my note here written down where I wrote, in Kipo Village, by a boy. I've no idea what that even means, to be honest with you.
Welcome. What'll it be?
Candy, elbow pad, kung fu dress, chain vest. Well, there's no boy here. I don't even know what I mean by that. But we'll go ahead and buy this chain vest since we've got the GP for it. I was going to say Gil then, having played a lot of Final Fantasy recently. So I'm going to have to get out of that habit.
Anything else? Come again.
Right, let's go ahead and equip that chain vest. And that's giving us a nice defense boost, actually, and a nice magic boost. So we do want to go ahead and equip that immediately. What else did this guy have? I don't know what Cup of Wishes is. Does anybody in chat know what that is? Or what these other items are?
Anything else?
Well, I'll keep proceeding anyway. You can always let me know in chat as we play. Let's go ahead and save the game as well at this point.
One night is 10 GP.
Okay. Alright then, guys. I think I'm actually going to finish off for a bit here. I need to get a few bits done IRL before we proceed. So later on I'm going to be streaming. A little bit later tonight UK time, about 9:30. That's the plan anyway. So I haven't decided yet whether I'll be going for more Final Fantasy 12 carrying on from yesterday. Or carrying on from where we are here in Secret of Mana. Maybe we'll do both, I'm not sure. Who knows? But I'm going to finish off anyway. So thanks for stopping by today. Yeah, see you later, Nico. Thanks for stopping by. Appreciate that. And for everyone else that's joined us as well in chat. I'm going to do a little bit more reading up on what comes next in this game so that I can have some sense of direction before proceeding on. Okay, thanks, Hulkaroni. And yeah, cheers, Alec. Appreciate it. Alright then, guys. Well, I'm going to finish off, so take care. I'll see you later. I need to make a note, actually, of the items. Make a little note so that I know what are Phoenix Downs, what are potions, etc, etc. Because that's how I know them, by playing, you know, coming from the Final Fantasy type background. But yeah, see you all later, guys. Take care. Goodbye.